and welcome back to Bourbon Barrel Talk. I'm your host, Scott Minton. Today, I'm sitting down with my homeboy, Old Fanboy Josh.
Today, I'm going to be Old Fitz Fanboy.
Old Fitz Fanboy, huh? Well, if that's the case, I'm going to be Old Carter Fanboy. So we've got a couple of different varieties of, I'm going to call it Top Shelf Tuesday, since we've got a couple of what I would consider more of your upper echelon bourbons we're going to sample out today.
But it's not Tuesday.
Nobody knows.
Okay, whatever.
Damn. I mean, why you gotta break a boy's balls?
Well, here we are, and I think for every one episode where I get to talk about Old Forester, we got to do an episode where we don't talk about Old Forester. Is that the policy?
It probably should be with you.
I was a little worried because we were picking out some bottles in the bourbon bunker, and I thought we were going to do another 3 or 4 episodes of Old Forester, but I'm glad we chose something different tonight.
It's all good. It's all good in the hood, man. So anyway, we've got a Old Carter 12-year-old small batch number 1 that we're going to try today. That one reigns in at right around 134.9 proof, so this is going to be the heavy hitter of the night.
It'll be the one that says, Josh, it's time to go to bed.
Exactly. And then we're drinking the 15-year-old Old Fitz decanter.
Old Fitz bottled in bond, 15-year, fall 2019, and obviously because it's a bottled in bond, it's 100 proof.
Gotcha. So the Old Carter is one of, looks like 1,396 bottles.
Well, let me ask you a question before we dive deep. Do you remember when or where you buy most of your bottles?
So, I really don't want to give up where I buy most of my bottles because that's kind of giving up my honey hole. But
sure,
I will say I frequent one liquor store.
That's not really where I was going. Do you remember when you buy a bottle?
Oh, where it came from?
Do you remember where it came from?
If it's a bottle like these, yes, I would remember where I got them.
So
if it was a bottle of OWA or a bottle of, something else, or if I got a bottle of 1910 or,
if it was OWA, though, it likely came from Ohio.
Most likely.
The Old Fitz, I was just, as we were opening these bottles, and the Old Fitz was already open and was more than halfway down the bottle. The Old Carter was a fresh crack. But the Old Fitz, I bought during the Christmas season in 2019 at the keg liquor stores when they were doing their high-end bourbon release the last week or so before Christmas.
Right.
But I opened it that week because it was good. So that one's been open now for year and a half.
Gotcha.
Is that right?
Yep.
Year and a half. The Old Carter, I picked up the first time I went to the Total Wine St. Matthews when I was going, hoping to get something else. And I didn't really know much about Old Carter other than this is an American whiskey and it was a 12-year. So I picked this one up and it has been sitting in the bunker now for year and a half, maybe longer than that.
Super disappointed by you by not cracking this bottle by now.
Well, I had to wait for somebody special to come over and drink it with me and crack
look at
it.
That. Now I'm going to blush.
There you go. The bald head blushes, just in case you all didn't know.
That's right. It turns a little pink.
All right, so because the Old Fitz is the 100 proof, you think we ought to start with it?
I think that's the must-do in this situation. I don't think you want to go straight to Old Carter because the Old Fitz, we might not be able to taste it after the 130.
I hope I didn't mix my samples up because I had intended on starting with Old Carter, but I'm sure we'll tell real quick.
So the Old Fitz is just a little bit lighter if you just kind of look at the two, and you've got a similar size pour to me. The Old Fitz is just slightly lighter.
All right. Do you know much about... So the Old Fitz is a Heaven Hill product. Is that right?
That is correct.
You know anything else about it?
The Old Carter?
No, Old Fitz.
Oh, the Old Fitz?
It has a really pretty bottle.
It's Bardstown. It's a Heaven Hill product. It's just a good solid pour.
Heaven Hill uses a non-wheat mash bill. Is that correct?
Correct. So it's going to be high rye. It's going to be right up your alley.
Right up Josh's alley, which is why the bottle is more than halfway gone.
I can see that.
All right.
So this Old Carter, and listen, I didn't look it up. I'm just going by memory. With it being an American whiskey, I'm going to say this is coming probably most likely from Tennessee. I don't know. I'll have to look at the back, see if I can see.
Old Carter American Whiskey Batch 1. I don't think they tell you exactly where everything came from.
Actually, this is MGP. It says distilled in Indiana.
Distilled in Indiana.
So this is a 12-year MGP.
All good things come from Indiana.
We did. That's
Yes.
two great things. I don't know about all good things, but
yes. All right.
So this is MGP. So I guess just looking at the back, I could tell you it's MGP because it says distilled in Indiana. So
All
We're going to start out with the Old Fitz. I'll let you do some talking, and I'm going to do some smelling.
I think I may have been a year off on when I picked this bottle up, because this bottle was released in 2018, and I picked it up during the release at Total Wine Paddocks.
So you bought this almost 3 years ago?
Well, I feel a little bit like a tater because it did sit on my shelf for that long, but you guys know me that I'm not likely to crack open something as hot as that.
So I'm almost curious now, and I'll have to text Mark and Sherry to see if this is the 21 or if it's the 31% rye.
Okay. The interwebs tell me that there was an Old Carter 12-year, there were 1,396 bottles produced, and it was only released in Kentucky, and it was released in December of 2018. So, which makes sense, because I think I tend to buy a whole lot of whiskey between Thanksgiving and New Year.
Yep, that makes sense.
All right, so you got the Old Fitz. You went back to the Old Fitz, which is a Heaven Hill product, bottled in bond. Been open now for a year and a half. So, I keep bringing that up just because it changes the bottle.
So I get leather, a little bit of caramel. I'm getting a little bit of almost like a citrusy grass type thing going on here on the nose. So I'm going to take a little sip while you get a nose in there.
All right. So Old Fitz has a 75%. That can't be right. Am I right? I told you it was a non-wheat mash bill. Maybe I'm reading something wrong. The interwebs.
So most
wrong.
of Heaven Hill is old mash, but Old Fitz comes from the old Stitzel-Weller plant. It probably does have a wheat mash bill.
If the interwebs are right, it tells me it's a 75% corn, 20% wheat, 5% malted barley.
That would make sense, because the more I started thinking about it, Old Fitz is from the old Stitzel-Weller plant, so they made a lot of weeders out there in Shively.
I just saw the word viscosity on the interweb.
Viscosity, huh?
Well, it really said viscosity, but Toby would have called you out for saying viscosity at that point.
Yeah,
All right, what do you think?
I mean, the nose on this thing is, it's good.
It's so funny because you just said leather, and I'm sitting here reading some tasting notes from somebody, and it says it has leather, barrel char, clove, and cherries as a finish.
Huh. So I definitely get the leather. I don't know that I get the cherry, but let me taste it, and we'll get from there.
Your palate must just be that well refined. You drink every day?
Mm-mm.
That's sad. You can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
That is true, and that is a good motto of mine. So I do get a little bit of cherry on the back end, but I'll be honest with you. I almost get more of I'm going to call it like an apricot. It's a little bit more citrusy to me than a typical cherry would be.
Oh, man, I can totally pick up some clove in this thing in the finish.
Yep, almost like a leather, the clove. The clove almost reminds me of remember those clove cigarettes people used to smoke?
No, because I didn't smoke them.
Yeah, but did you know anybody that smoked them?
No, man. I hung out with the straight-laced kids.
That's all good. So I hung out with a lot of stoners at one point in my life, and then a lot of people that hung out at coffee shops and smoked and stuff, and they like to smoke cloves. So
interesting. I've never smoked a clove cigarette, nor could I tell you that I've smelled someone smoking a clove cigarette. Is it like a cigarillo?
It's kind of like a mixture between a cigar and the way an herb smells when it burns.
Okay. Like burning incense?
There's a billion different types of incense, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to go with no, but yes.
This one has, all right, so and I know people think it's really generic to say a very smooth finish, but this thing is really smooth.
Yeah, it's 100 proof. It should be, right?
It's mellow. It's enjoyable. If you could find this regularly at a reasonable price, excellent drinker.
You can never find this at a reasonable price.
I was shocked that
I think the MSRP is like $249, isn't it?
Oh, good God. I hope not. Or 2 years ago it wasn't. A year and a half ago.
Maybe $179. It's up there.
I think I paid about $150 a couple years ago.
Okay, so maybe that's right.
But, prices have significantly escalated over the last 2 years.
Honestly, I can't remember. I've only bought maybe one bottle of Old Fitz in my whole life, and I think it was an 11-year. I've drank all of them. I've drank the 9, the 11, the 15.
This is the only one I've ever had. It's the only one I've ever opened. I've not been to the Heaven Hill Distillery.
You went balls to the walls with the one you picked. The only one you could have picked that was better was a 16-year, supposedly.
Hey, man, every once in a while, a blind squirrel finds a nut. And this squirrel drank it. But actually, it's an excellent pour. I now remember why the bottle is consumed as much as it was. But it's a pretty bottle. That decanter, you pop the labels off of it, and you got a lifelong.
I was about to say that is definitely an infinity bottle right there.
Once we get to it, once we get close enough, we're just going to kill it. Bottle kill.
Bottle kill it. We'll chug it one night.
It's like
no, we don't chug Old Fitz.
I was telling you, I did a bottle kill on Old Rip a couple weeks ago, and I really enjoyed. The Old Rip had, we'll call it 3 fingers left in the bottle. 3 fingers worth left in the bottle, and I hadn't touched it for a year. And I came back to it, and it was so much better than I remembered a year ago. So I don't know if my palate changed, if the whiskey just oxidized over that time, or if I just changed.
It's going to be a combination of all the above. I mean, the more bourbon you drink, the more you're going to get used to those different flavor profiles. And I think the wheat will start to grow on you more and more you drink of it.
I don't know, man. Wheat whiskey seems to give me a weird kind of hangover the next day.
That don't mean you won't enjoy drinking it.
Well, that's true.
You just won't enjoy it the day after.
When we killed the Old Rip bottle, it was out by the fire. We did a little fire pit table late one evening, and really enjoyable now that spring's coming around. I think spring is here in a week or a couple days. I don't remember. Probably by the time this airs, it'll be gone. Spring has already happened. So enjoyable. I would drink this Old Fitz on a regular basis.
So yeah, I thought it was a excellent pour. It's been a while since I've had one, but absolutely great pour. So next I'm going to dive in on this Old Carter, get a little sniff of it. I'm going to let you talk a little bit more. You want to look up, see what you can find out about this one, see if it says...
I don't.
You don't want to look it up?
No. So
okay.
We
know it's MGP.
We walked into the bourbon bunker tonight, and Scott's like, "What are we going to do?" And he's like, "Let's do something unique." And I pulled out the Old Carter 12-year American whiskey that I had not opened. And we said, well, we got to do 2 bottles, so we got something to compare. And so he felt like he had to find something of similar financial value from Old Carter to something else.
Yep.
And the Old Fitz was comparable in price, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I would say probably both of these are going to run in that 180-ish to 200-ish range. I mean, that's kind of where they fall in.
So I have not consumed a lot of Old Carter, and I've not been on the 2 podcasts that you and Matt and maybe Toby went on one of them, but with Old Carter.
Yep.
I haven't been on any of them, so the only Old Carter I've had is like a sample.
2 of the best people in bourbon, Mark and Sherry Carter.
So this year, around the holidays, I bought a number of bottles for clients or friends. And the bottles that I went and bought this year, we'll call it the extra special bottles, were the Old Carter 12-year, or it might have even been 13-year bourbon. And I went out to Cox's and Evergreens.
Was that the one that was like 109 or 110 proof?
Maybe. They had a row of them inside the locked case at Cox's or Evergreens, whatever it was. Evergreens, so.
Damn, the nose on this thing, dude. Oh, it is so good.
I'm still finishing up the Old Fitz, so go ahead and tell us what you think about this one.
So the nose on this thing is it's amazing. I mean, it's got caramel, it's got vanilla, it's got apricot, it's like almost like a bread product, like fresh, like baked, like sourdough or yeast bread, You
like bread?
I do love bread. I'm a fat kid. Fat kids love bread.
Fat kids love cake.
That too. But, man, just the nose on this thing is just undamn real.
Is it going to burn me?
The nose? Not at all. No,
Ooh,
I mean,
you were right.
I mean, the nose on this thing is like...
I would tell you the nose on this thing is like candy to me.
I mean, it is, yes. I mean, I get some, maybe even a little bubble gum on this bad boy.
I call that a brown sugar baby.
It is, yeah. Caramel, brown sugar, like creme brulee. I mean, it's just so sweet and subtle.
You ain't kidding, dude. This thing, I might just sit and sniff on this nose for a while because, wow. And it is, it's difficult to find something that smells that darn good in a bottle that you just fresh crack. Scott's got a big old grin on his face. He's going to call Mark Carter tonight.
Damn, I forgot how good this was.
Have you had this before?
Yeah, I have had this bottle, but it's been probably 3 years. I mean,
was it?
So we tried this bottle. Mark and Sherry brought this exact bottle down, I think. Actually, no, I think it was batch 2, but I tried this either at Justin's or someplace I've tried this bottle. I don't remember where, but man, I mean, I tell you, just caramel, popcorn. I mean, just like there's just so much going on with this thing. It's almost like if you took caramel corn and like just ate it, and then you get some really, really nice, like, I'm going to say it's more of a cherry than anything else. But man, I'll tell you what, the flavor on this thing goes with the nose, and the nose, you could just literally if I could candle this bad boy, I would candle it tomorrow.
Oh, yeah? Well, if we drink the whole bottle down, we could then make a candle in the bottle.
Yeah, but it wouldn't smell like this.
No, but you would have consumed enough, you wouldn't care.
No, that's probably true.
And it's what proof?
134.9.
Very few times have I consumed anything that hot except for that, one or two times you put something in front of me and not told me what it was, which is a dick move.
Oh, my God. That's just so damn good.
I hear you. Do we know what a mash bill on it is? Because it's a whiskey, you're not confirmed that it's going to be 51% corn.
That is true. My guess would still be it's probably one of the, I think they call it whiskey because of the fact that it could have a blend too. It could be that it's the 71, 24 or 25-4. It could be a lot of different mixtures. I like I said, I guess we'll have to get clarification from Mark and Sherry. Maybe we can put a couple of notes whenever we post this episode.
So I just Googled it on the interwebs.
Batch 1, American whiskey.
Batch
Old Carter.
1, it's for sale for $500 on the interwebs. That's a lot of money, bro.
That is a lot of money.
They don't tell me the mash bill on it.
Damn it! It's worth it though. Like I'm not too sure I would not go out and buy a bottle of this at $500. I pay if you pay that for Stag. This is don't get me wrong. This is not. I love this Old Carter bottle. It's not Stag, but
I wouldn't pay that much for Stag.
This is damn good.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad you like it.
You got to dive in, man.
I'm thinking about it. The proof scares me a little bit, bro.
Dude, I'm telling you, it does not drink like 134.
It's gonna give me heartburn all night long.
This drinks like 105.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding. I would not shit you. You're my favorite turd right now.
Well, I hoped you would not do that. All right.
Go ahead. Go in.
The nose on it is.
Dude, I'm telling
amazing.
you, go in, get you a nice little swill of it. It does not drink like 134.9. Nowhere near it.
Oh my goodness. It tickles that tongue. The front of my mouth is just popping like I put Pop Rocks in it.
Yep.
No afterburn at all.
Yep. It's all up front, man, but it's so smooth. It's that nice Kentucky hug.
There's a little hug in there.
Yeah.
But it is all up front. The front half of my tongue is just like, hey, Josh, what's up, bro?
And the second drink's going to be even better. Because that first drink is just like, whoa, that's 134, right? But like that second one, oh my God, it's so good. I'm going in for like my fourth sip already.
You need me.
I'm about to get that bottle and start drinking some
you need
more.
Me top that sucker off for you. It is good. You're right. I'm quite shocked. Only shocked because I haven't had it before. It's just been sitting there unopened. But man,
damn, caramel, tobacco, leather, cherry. Just everything that keeps popping off this thing, man. It's just such a damn good pour.
My mouth is still recovering a little bit here, but I'm going to go at it.
Go in for the second one. Go in for the second drink, man. I'm telling you. You've already woke up the palate now. You've already woke up the front end. So now it's just going to be just all flavor. It's going to be just like you can get all those other notes.
I'm getting a really strong caramel flavor to that thing. Strong.
Yep.
I'm glad we drank the 100 proof first because we would have killed the palate.
That's what I said. You would not be able to drink at Old Fitz after this.
And honestly, these two are not comparable.
They're not.
There's not. Even though they may have a comparable price range, you're right. Old Carter beats the crap out of Old Fitz.
Just smashes this bad boy. Man, I'm going back in. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Whiskey is for consuming. I'm glad we opened it tonight. So now I've got something to share the next time somebody's over.
Now the other good thing is, too, it's going to get a little air to it, and it's just going to improve.
Oh, you know that. So, well, it is a very good whiskey. Next time you schedule something with Mark and Sherry, I'm going to have to clear my schedule to go. I'm going to have to Uber.
I will tell you, the last one we did with them, I loved I loved two of the pours. The third one was the one, I think it was the Kentucky whiskey. And the only thing that I did not like about it, it was really floral. Like it had like almost like and I'm just going off memory right off the top of my head. If I remember correctly, me and Sherry, when we were talking about it after the podcast, we might even talked about why we were on there. It was like almost like a honeysuckle. And then like almost like fresh, like that smell of fresh flowers in a field. Like it was very, very floral. But the other two were just amazing pours. One of them was the one I think you bought, which I think was probably like batch 4 or 5 of the bourbon. I think it's like 110 proof. And then, man, I tell you, just Excellent, excellent pours.
These two are not comparable. And I'm just coming back to that, sitting here thinking about what we've drank tonight. And this is a good bottle.
Oh, dude.
And now I understand why I saw a couple months ago somebody looking for one of these on secondary, because it is that good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I tell people all the time, like, if anything, Mark and Sherry, A, great people, but B, they know how to blend like a champ. I mean, their small batch stuff is just phenomenal. Their palates, and I don't know if it's the wine background, I don't know what it is, but between Mark and Sherry, they just really, really just know how to blend something to get the most out of it. And I'm almost curious to see if this is all 12-year-old or if it's a mixture of 12, 13, and 14s, what it is that, that makes up that 12-year, because they have to put the least age for the age statement, right?
So now that we're all COVID vaccinated, it's time to call them up. We're going to go drinking.
So there's another batch getting ready to be released, and I'll make sure you were at that one.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. Well, I'm impressed, seriously impressed by the Old Carter. Obviously, I like the Old Fitz by how much has been consumed, and I think it's all me in that bottle.
Yeah.
So, all good.
So, we won't compare the two, but we're going to say Old Carter's better.
There's nothing wrong with Old Fitz.
No, there's nothing wrong with that Old Fitz pour. But they're two totally different pours, right?
If you get a 15 or 16-year-old Old Fitz, you go ahead and get it. You should drink it.
You should buy it and drink it and enjoy it. But this Old Carter, I'm sorry, there's no more of them left unless you buy it secondary. Unless you're just lucked into some weird store in the middle of Kentucky and it's just sitting on a shelf. Buy it all day long. There are 1,396 bottles, so you got to find one of those 1,396.
My unknowing purchase 2.5 years ago, 2.5 years ago was a good purchase.
Oh, absolutely fantastic purchase. So that's our consensus for the night. We appreciate you listening. Hit the subscribe button. If you want to talk to us, you can DM us on Facebook. You can email us at bourbonbarreltalk@gmail.com. You can look us up on the Twitters, the Instagram, or Facebook.
And if you're going to drink some of this Old Carter, there's no reason to try anything after it tonight.
No, absolutely not. This is when you open up, drink it, and you enjoy it, and don't worry about anything else for the rest of the night.
Probably not. Peace out.
This is Scott and Josh signing off.